Welcome to X Confessions Unlocked, where X secrets spill, revenge gets served, and sometimes X's come crawling back. Subscribe now for real, unfiltered stories about love gone wrong, and sometimes very right. Drop a comment with your X drama. Yours could be next. My ex-wife wanted me to cheat on her with her friend. What I did next shocked her. I never thought my marriage would end because my wife begged me to betray her. But here's the thing. She wasn't trying to save us. She was trying to bury her own sins. And what I did next, it destroyed her. Babe, what if we tried something different? My wife, Elena, stood in front of me in nothing but a silk robe, her dark curls spilling over her shoulders, a glass of red wine dangling from her fingers. We were in our penthouse, the city lights twinkling outside, the kind of setting that should have been romantic. But the look in her eyes wasn't love. It was calculation. Different how? I asked, setting down my scotch. She bit her lip, a move that used to drive me wild. Now it just made me tense. I want you to sleep with Vanessa. Vanessa, her best friend since college. The woman who always accidentally brushed against me when she walked by. The one whose eyes lingered a second too long whenever Elena left the room. I laughed, thinking it was a joke. Then I saw her face. She was dead serious. You're insane, I said. Come on, Alex, she purred, sliding onto my lap. It's just sex. No strings. I'll even watch. I push her off. No. Her smile vanished. Why not? Because I'm not a cheater, I said flatly. She rolled her eyes. God, you're so boring. It's 2023. Everyone does this. Not me. She slammed her wine glass down. Fine. Be a prude. Then she stormed out. And that's when I knew something was very wrong. Elena had been acting off for months. Late nights. Secretive texts. Business trips that never seemed to involve actual business. I'd ignored it. Big mistake. That night, after her proposal, I did something I'd never done before. I checked her phone. She'd left it on the counter unlocked. Bad move. Messages to Vanessa. He said no. Plan B. If he doesn't sleep with you, we're screwed. Messages to an unknown number. I'm trying, but he's not biting. If he finds out about us, I'm ruined. My stomach twisted. I scrolled further. Photos. Elena. And a man I didn't recognize. Tall, tattooed, smirking at the camera like he'd won the lottery. Hotel receipts. Dinner reservations for two. A second phone plan under her name. Then, the kicker. A bank transfer. $50,000. Sent to him. I confronted her at 3 a.m. when she stumbled home, smelling like whiskey and someone else's cologne. Who the hell is Jason? I demanded, shoving the phone in her face. She froze. Then she laughed. Oh my God. You snooped? Real classy, Alex. Answer the question. She rolled her eyes. He's just a friend. Friends don't send each other 50 grand, Elena. Her smirk faded. Fine. You want the truth? Jason's my trainer. And my lover. We've been together for 8 months. The words hit like a bullet. Why? I whispered. She shrugged. Because he's exciting. Because you're not. You're just safe. I should have been angry. But all I felt was cold. So you try to trick me into sleeping with Vanessa to cover your tracks. She smiled, actually smiled. Bingo. If you cheated first, no one would care when I got caught. I stared at her. This woman I'd loved for 10 years and realized. I didn't know her at all. Most men would have cried, begged, punched a wall. Not me. I walked to my safe, pulled out a folder, and dropped it on the bed. What's this? She sneered. Open it. She did. And her face collapsed. Divorce papers. Prenup voided because of her infidelity. Photos of her and Jason. Bank records proving she'd been stealing from our accounts. And the final nail in her coffin. A screenshot of Vanessa's text to me. You knew. Elena stammered. I smiled. Vanessa told me everything. Weeks ago. Her breath came in sharp gasps. You're lying. I pulled out my phone. Played the recording. Elena's just using you. Alex, Vanessa's voice whispered. She's been sleeping with Jason for months. She wanted me to seduce you so she could divorce you and take everything. Elena's knees buckled. You bitch, she hissed. I leaned in. Pack your shit. You're out by morning. She lunged for me. I sidestepped. Oh, and Elena? I tossed her a burner phone. Jason's been texting me too. Turns out, he's not really a trainer. Her eyes widened. Ooh, who is he? I grinned. Guess you should have asked before you gave him 50 grand. I kicked Elena out. I exposed her lies. I thought I'd won. But I was wrong. Because Elena didn't just want to cheat. She wanted to ruin me. And the game was far from over. 3 days after Elena left, I got the call. Mr. Kensington? This is Detective Ruiz. We need to talk. My lawyer, Mason, met me at the precinct. They're accusing you of what? I hissed. Embezzlement, Mason muttered. $500,000 missing from your company. They say the transfers were authorized under your login. I laughed. That's impossible. Then it hit me. Elena. She'd had access to my laptop. My passwords. My entire life. Detective Ruiz slid a folder across the table. Your wife, sorry, ex-wife, gave us everything. Time-stamped records. IP addresses. Even a confession letter she claims you forced her to sign. I nearly choked. That's not my signature. Ruiz shrugged. Looks like yours. Mason leaned in. Who else had access to your accounts? I hesitated. Then it clicked. Vanessa. Elena's best friend. The woman who'd warned me. The woman who'd slept in our guest room 2 months ago. The woman who'd used my laptop to check her email. Mason's eyes darkened. We've been played. I stormed to Vanessa's apartment, ready to tear her apart. But the door was open. And inside? Blood. Everywhere. A broken lamp. Overturned furniture. And Vanessa. Gone. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. You shouldn't have involved her. I called the cops. But when they arrived, they didn't search for Vanessa. They arrested me. Vanessa Cole's neighbors placed you at the scene, Ruiz said. And we just had a very interesting call from your ex-wife. Elena's voice played over the interrogation room speaker. Alex always had a temper. I think he found out Vanessa was helping me. God, I hope she's okay. I lunged for the door. She's framing me. Ruiz smirked. Funny. She said you'd say that. I spent 72 hours in a cell before Mason got me out. No body. No evidence. Just circumstance. But the damage was done. Headline screamed. Tycoon Alex Kensington questioned in socialite's disappearance. My stocks plummeted. My partners bailed. And then, the video dropped. A grainy security feed. Me, entering Vanessa's building. Me, leaving 20 minutes later, carrying a duffel bag. That's not me. I roared at Mason. Then who the hell is it? I froze. Because I knew. Jason, Elena's lover. The man who looked exactly like me. Same height. Same build. Same damn haircut. Mason paled. This was never about cheating, Alex. This was a setup. From the start. I hired a PI. What he found. Jason wasn't real. No birth certificate. No social security. Just a name and a face created 2 years ago. By who? I traced the money Elena sent him. It led to an offshore account, linked to a shell company. Owned by. Holy shit, the PI whispered. The name on the paperwork? Victor Cole, Vanessa's father. A billionaire who'd vanished after his hedge fund collapsed in 2018. A man who'd owed me money. A man who'd sworn revenge when I testified against him. I collapsed into my chair. This was never about Elena. It was about him, and I just walked right into his trap. That night, my phone rang. Blocked number. I answered. Hello, Alex. A voice I hadn't heard in 5 years. Victor, you took everything from me, he crooned. Now, I return the favor. Where's Vanessa? I demanded. Where's my daughter? He laughed. Safe. For now. But Elena? Jason? They're just actors, Alex. Pawns in my game. The line went dead. Then, a text. A photo of Vanessa. Bound. Gagged. And a message. Confess to the embezzlement, or she dies next. Victor Cole thought he had me cornered. Elena thought she'd won. Jason thought he was untouchable. But they forgot one thing. I didn't build an empire by playing fair. And now, it was time to burn theirs to the ground. I stared at Victor's ultimatum. Confess, or Vanessa dies. Mason slammed his fist on my desk. It's a bluff. He won't kill his own daughter. You don't know Victor, I said. I'd seen what he was capable of. 5 years ago, when his Ponzi scheme collapsed, he'd thrown his own CFO out a window rather than let him testify. The only reason he hadn't come for me sooner? He'd been in hiding. Now he was back, and he'd used my wife to destroy me. I opened my safe and pulled out the one thing Victor wouldn't expect. A USB drive. What's that? Mason asked. Insurance. I sent Victor a counteroffer. $10 million in crypto. In exchange for Vanessa. He took the bait. We met at an abandoned warehouse on the docks. The same place his empire had crumbled. Victor stepped out of the shadows, flanked by 2 armed men. He looked older. Gaunt. But his eyes? Still the same snake-like stare. Where's Vanessa? I demanded. He snapped his fingers. Jason emerged, dragging a bruised and shaking Vanessa. Her eyes met mine, and she flinched. Alex, I didn't. Quiet, Victor hissed. I held up the USB. Call off your dogs. Drop the charges, or this goes public. Victor laughed. What? More evidence? The police already have. Not evidence, I said. Blackmail. On you. I plugged it into a projector. The screen lit up with footage of Victor. Meeting with Elena. Paying Jason. Ordering Vanessa to disappear. Vanessa gasped. Father, you promised. Shut up. Victor roared. Jason lunged for me and froze when Mason's team stormed in, guns drawn. NYPD. Hands where we can see them. Victor's face twisted in rage. You recorded us? I smiled. No. She did. I pointed. At Vanessa. The truth hit Victor like a bullet. Vanessa hadn't been kidnapped. She'd been working with me. You bitch, Victor spat. Vanessa wiped fake tears from her face. You were gonna let me take the fall, Dad? Just like you did with Mom. The cops cuffed Victor and Jason. But Elena? She was already gone. I found Elena at our old penthouse, packing a suitcase full of cash. Leaving so soon? I asked. She spun, a gun in her hand. You ruined everything. I shrugged. Funny. I was going to say the same to you. She fired. Missed. I tackled her. We crashed through the glass balcony doors. And I let her fall. Not to her death. Just onto the pool deck below, where the cops were waiting. Victor got 25 years. Jason flipped on him and got 5. Elena tried to claim I manipulated her, but the jury didn't buy it. Vanessa inherited what was left of Victor's empire and gave half to his victims. As for me, I sold the penthouse, moved to Kenya, and made sure my next girlfriend signed an ironclad prenup. Oh, and that USB drive? I kept a copy, just in case.